Lori makes our own fire starters, egg cartons, sawdust, and a little wax. Works great. Well, as you saw, it was 15 degrees out this morning. Right now the wind's howling at about 19 miles an hour, so it leads to a 5-degree wind chill out there. So that's why I'm getting the fire going. It's March 26th and it's cold. So get a little fire going, put some heat in the house. Well, good morning everybody. Welcome back to Mixed Wild Retirement Adventures. Here in central Minnesota, March 26th, 15 degrees Fahrenheit, 5-degree wind chill. I was supposed to be starting my boil yesterday, but we had 45 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. Not very conducive to having an outside evaporator boil in those kind of winds. Even now, we have 20 to 25 mile an hour wind gusts, so I'm not going to start it today on Saturday. It's been a week since we harvested the 55 gallons of sap. I've collected more. I have about 100 additional gallons, so I have almost 150 gallons of sap that I want to boil, and I'm going to start them tonight. I'll start it this evening, probably 5 or 6 when the wind's supposed to die down a little bit, and I'll burn it all night long. What I do is I get up every 3 hours and stoke the evaporator, the wood box. So I get up about every 3 hours and fill the wood box with wood. It burns fine all night long. Get up every 3 hours, 9 o'clock, midnight, 3, and then be up at 5 or 6 to keep her going. So that's what I'm doing tonight, is the maple syrup boil. First 150 gallons. Should make about 3 gallons plus of syrup. We'll see how it goes. Lori went up to visit her mom, so I'm home. I got the whole homestead to myself today, so I'm going to haul some wood out of the woods today. It's cold. It's cold. I started a fire in the house. I think I showed you that in the little previous thing, but it's dang cold out here. The wind chill's 5 above, so got my winter gear on, snow pants and stuff, so I'm going to go out and haul some wood. I have a tree down out there I'd love to get cut up. We'll see how the day goes. Sometimes I have to hang a light for Lori in her garden, barns too. So when I was walking yesterday, I saw 3 big gobbler turkeys out in my backwoods. It's really weird. You don't see them all year long except for now. Mating season comes and the gobblers start coming, and our season doesn't start for about another month. But me, Paige, and David, and maybe Lori was talking about maybe wanting to try it this year. It's so fun being in the woods in the springtime with a shotgun in your hand. So. Plus, we love living off the land, as you know. Turkeys would be a good form of calories for us. So, if we can get a couple of turkeys, that'd be perfect for Lori and I and Paige and David. So, I got the evaporator wood box set up yesterday. Tim came over to help me level it all out. So, it's all set. They have the pan put on it. This afternoon, sometime, I am going to clean the evaporator pan. We do it every year. It's been out there. We cleaned it before we put it away. Now we took it out. We're going to clean it with vinegar and water. Give it a good scrub down. Make sure everything's sanitized with it. The sap boils in it for, it boils and sanitizes everything. So I'm not that concerned about it. It's just nice to do. So I'll do that sometime this afternoon after it warms up. Hopefully it gets above freezing so the water doesn't freeze in the pan. But so that's my day. Hauling wood, maybe some cutting wood. Get the evaporator pan all cleaned up and ready to go. Fill it full of sap and start boiling. So I'll take you along. See you out there. right, so somebody came up with a couple questions, or there's a couple questions where I was asked, what's the deal with all the wood? There's no bark on it. So I live in an old growth red oak woods, and the old growth red oak are the most susceptible to oak wilt that there is. And so all these trees you're seeing me cut are dead. They're dying of oak wilt. I lose about 6 to 10 a year is what I lose. So it's even hard to keep up with it. If I look around, there's rotten trees in the ground. So I live in central Minnesota, in oak wilt sand country. It's just the way it is. The other question I get asked is, what kind of trees am I tapping? I have primarily, except for 2 trees, all red maple and sugar maple on my property. I tap 2 silver maples kind of for the fun of it. This is the first year I've ever tapped them. I've never tapped them. They're in my yard. I just thought, what the heck, I'll tap them, see if I can get some extra sap. So the problem with silver maples is the sugar content's less than the sugar maples and the red maples. So you got to evaporate a little bit more. But if I'm only doing 2 trees, who cares? So that's the questions I got asked about the oak. What's the deal with all the trees? It's oak wilt. Lots of oak wilt. So I cut them as fast as I can, and then I actually treated it when I first moved in here. They dig a trench all the way around the disease area. Then you got to log all those trees off. I did that. The county actually paid for it, but it didn't stop the oak wilt. Maybe briefly, but oak wilt's spread by 2 ways: by the roots intermingling with each other, and then it transfers from this tree to that tree, or if you have a moth that's in an infected tree and it brings some of the spores from this tree to that tree. So, and I've said before in other videos, my degree's in forestry. I have a degree in forestry and a degree in business. So yeah, so that's the deal there. It's spread 2 ways: intermingling of the roots, or insect of some type going from one infected tree to a non-infected tree and transferring those spores into that tree, and it gets disease. So they're dying all over the place. It's being taken over by maples. Lots of maples, man. Lots of maples, which is good and bad. You don't want a strictly maple forest. I have elm. They're all dying. They're all dying because of Dutch elm disease. Finally came here. I've lived here 30 years and didn't have Dutch elm disease. About 3 years ago, I noticed a couple of dead elm. Now, I bet you almost all of my elm are dead. Emerald ash borer is another problem. I have a few ash on this property. I know of at least a dozen, 15 maybe. And they haven't been affected yet, but they will eventually. The emerald ash borer gets moved all the time. So that's the deal with my woods. I got a load of wood here I'm going to haul in, come back and get more. Plus I've got more down there I've got to go get. So another beautiful day in the woods. You know, it's just a beautiful, beautiful day in central Minnesota. So I'm a lucky dude. All right, I'll haul this out and drop it off and come right back. show you my Saturday. As you saw earlier, that's the wood that Tim and I split last week, and today I hauled out 5 more loads of oak. Right there, ready to be split. So tomorrow, while I'm evaporating maple syrup, I'll be splitting that. Tim's going to come over and get some firewood with his wife, and we'll go from there. But yeah, got a lot of wood, more to split, super cool. Now I'm going to show you the maple syrup evaporation, which I have going. So over we go to that. Alright, we've got a boil going. So here it is. This is a flipped on its side fuel oil container. I bought this thing for 50 bucks from a gentleman up north. Friend of a friend. So it's there. The evaporator pan itself is 3 feet by 5 feet by 10 inches tall. So if you go by 9 inches, keep the water level, the sap level, 1 inch down from the top. That equates to about 84 gallons. There's 231 cubic inches in a gallon. So if you take 3 feet, 5 feet by 9 inches, you'll get very close to 84 gallons. So right now I've got about 84 gallons in here. These are my warming trays. These are what are called Schaefer pans. We got them from a restaurant. Here, if you go to a buffet line and your potatoes or your chicken thighs and breasts are sitting in a warmer, underneath it's a sterno can. That's what these are, stainless steel Schaefers they're called. So I've got, eventually tonight as I come out, it will be cold, medium, hot. My wood goes into this right here. This slides left to right. I don't have any hot gloves with me, so I'm not going to open it now, but you'll see it tonight when I come out. What I'll do is keep this stoked. It holds about 4-foot sections because it's 5 feet long, so I put 4-foot sections in there. I'll come out at 9 o'clock and give her a good stoke. I'll come back out at midnight and give her a good stoke. I'll come back out at 3 o'clock and give her a good stoke of wood. And I'll just keep going till 6 o'clock. So that's the way she goes. Starting to steam off already. Got a good fire in there burning, so that's it. That's the boil. So I thought I'd show you this. This is my wood pile for the evaporator. After the maple syrup season's over, I go into the woods and find scrap wood or anything. There's oak in here, there's cherry in here, there's popple in here, ash. I see some ash. Whatever I can find that's kind of dead laying on the ground, I'll take it. Doesn't need to be anything fancy in there. At night I'll throw the oak pieces in. So yeah, that's my supply of sap burning wood. All right, she's evaporating now. See if I can get close enough to show you the boil. Oh yeah, she's boiling good in there. There's a couple of inches and it'll steamy otherwise. Yeah, she's got a good boil going. Warming trays are warming. It's all good. Thought I'd come out and check on it. But she's boiling good.
Still steaming good. This is the midnight adventure to go put wood in the evaporator. Alright. Gotta check that out. She's steaming. Whew. Oh yeah. Way down. Alright, we need us some sap. Ooh, it's cold though. There's what do you call it? Ice on the top of that. We'll put the warm ones in first. That one's stuck in, it's a little tight. Okay, so that's 15 gallons right there. A little shy, but all right, there's almost 20 gallons. Let's see, almost 25 gallons. Almost 30 gallons. All right. This is the 3 o'clock feeding. Wind died down and she's losing steam. That's good. It's about 6:30 in the morning. And she's steaming good still. Look at that. Whew. A lot of steam coming off there. I don't have any sap left. So now, what I need to do is just stoke the fire, but man, I think she's boiling good. All right. I hear robins singing. That's a beautiful day. You can hear robins singing, huh? All right, we are good to go for now. All right, she's boiling again already. I can see that. All right, I'm at about 4 inches. Do this one more time. Yep, about 4 inches. Come on, Pipes. Come on. Piper girl. Who's the Piper girl? Alright, 3 inches. Lost about an inch in the last hour. So once it gets 1 inch, we got to pull it off. Pipes? What's going on, bud? All right, she's evaporating good. We'll be making maple syrup here in probably, well, we're making maple syrup right now, but gotta get about 2 more inches of steam off of that. Then Lori and I'll start making maple syrup, so. Gotta finish it up by the garage. You'll see that set up too. All right, so here's our process. I've run about 150 gallons of sap through the evaporator. It's still steaming. Oh man, is it steaming. But we're getting close. Once it gets to an inch, there's about 9 gallons of sap left in there. I will remove it from this big 84-gallon evaporator and move it to our finishing pan up in the, Lori's getting that all set up in the house, sterilizing all the bottles, sterilizing all the lids. But what we'll do is we'll take this off. If you notice the side, the right side of the evaporator pan, if the steam will, there's holders right there. And we will run, right there, we will run 2x4s through there and lift it off of there, put it onto the trailer, and then we will filter it here. Third filter. If you remember, the first filter was the funnel in the woods. The second filter is running it through the bed sheets, sterilized bed sheets, and a sanitation cycle through the washing machine. Just water, no soap. And then, so we'll filter it here through our Orlon filter and a number of other smaller filters. You'll see Lori's in there setting them all up. And then we'll bring it in, finish it in the other evaporator pan. You'll see that on the deck. And then we will filter it one more time before we bottle it. So that's where we're at with this. I'm probably 20 minutes from taking it off of here, maybe half an hour, we'll see. But that's a little cumbersome. Usually I have a dude helping me with it, a guy, but Lori's going to help me today, so I'll get that trailer right up next to it and we'll lift it off of there. She'll do fine. She's done it before with me a couple times. Alright, so we have another about 1/8 of an inch more to evaporate. I've been evaporating about 10 gallons off of steam an hour. So 1 more 1/8 of an inch and we'll be yanking it off. Alright, so we're doing the filtering, and here's what the sludge that comes out. So they call that what, niter. So see it in there? So we just changed filters. This is the first filter. We'll change them probably 4 more times before this is all over. But now we're on our next one. Lori's doing that one. Syrup's coming out the bottom. Try and zoom in on it as it comes out. There'll be more filtering as it goes on, but this is the filter coming right out of the evaporator pan. Alright, so we've changed the filter over and over again. We got about a 4-gallon pail right there of syrup. And we're doing the next one here. Lori keeps cleaning the filters, replacing the filters with warm water. Got another one going there for me. Cruising right along. A couple of pre-filters in each Orlan filter, then the Orlan filter. So as long as she keeps those filters clean, flows good. Alright, so Lori and I have done all the big filtering out of the large evaporator pan. And this is our finishing pan. This is what this is. This is a Camp Chef, not a sponsor. And I had a custom pan made to fit it. So we'll finish it right here. Keep an eye on it. I've got it on low heat right now just because we're kind of cleaning up everything else out in the other area. We've moved it from the barn out to the backyard where we can watch it. So this will continuously be filtered. As I sit here, I'll filter it over and over and over again. So then we'll filter it one more time as it comes out and be ready to go. Start canning. All right, so one thing we do is we continuously filter it. We have one of the Orlan filters here that we cut down to fit in the little funnel, and we just kind of constantly be filtering it. Want our syrup to be as pure as we can get it. I'll kind of just continuously do this the whole time. Off and on. This is still got a ways to go, but might as well make sure it's all good. So our finishing pan here is 13.5 inches wide. It is 32 inches long, and it is 9 inches deep. That comes to about 3,800 cubic inches. There's 231 cubic inches in a gallon. So that means this thing will hold a little over 16 gallons if I filled it up. But on an inch by inch level, if I go 13.5 times 32 is 432 divided by 231. For every inch, there's about 1.8 gallons. So if my math is right, I'm predicting about 4 gallons and maybe less. I should be up 4 divided by 1.8, 4 divided by 1.8. I should be up about 2.25 inches before it starts getting in closer to syrup. So I can tell it's not there yet. I can watch the thermometer too. I have a thermometer in it where I can watch it. But hopefully the sun will get on it before we get so you can see it better, the boil. She's just cooking away. Going good. Alright, we're getting closer and closer and closer to that 2 1/4 inch mark. Right now it's below 2 1/2, so I'm going to start using the hydrometer here pretty quick. The thermometer says that we're very close, but the bubbles tell me we're not. So we'll let her evaporate a little bit more and then start checking with the hydrometer. So I just checked a couple minutes ago and it was at 50. And now, a few minutes later, it's at 55. Just right at 55, so 5 more minutes maybe, we'll be good. Getting there. And the red line I want to go to is right, see that? And it's floating already, which is cool. I'm not sure how well you can see, but it's boiling differently now. It's more little bubbles. See if I can zoom in a little bit, but you get a lot of those little, kind of looks frothy, almost like root beer. She's getting really close, really, really close. Once it starts making those bubbles, you gotta keep an eye on it, it'll froth right over. Alright, so you can see how that's boiling a lot different now. Frothing up. It is very close to syrup. Very close. I have to watch now because it'll boil over. It'll just all of a sudden start boiling up like you put salt in a beer. All right, see everybody, we're beyond the red. We're ready to go. It's syrup. Floating above 60, about 62. So we're good to go. We're gonna bring it in the house and start filter it one more time and then start canning. All right, Lori and I do one last filter. This is kind of over exaggerating the filter process, but we've always done it. So filter it one more time. Power's off, or just, man, that's looking good. Nice and clear. Let's see how it looks in the house once we bottle it. All right, so Lori's in the process of canning them. Everything's been sanitized in the dishwasher in sanitized mode. She's filling them right to the rim, overflowing them.
Wash the jars later, rinse them off.
Yep, we'll wash the outside of the jars. The inside of the jars are obviously sanitized. There we go. All right, Lori got them all bottled up. Just shy of 3 gallons of fresh, homemade Minnesota maple syrup. All right, here's the final product. Looking pretty good in the sunlight. Crystal clear. Well, end of another great weekend. 5 loads of wood out of the woods. Approximately 3 gallons of maple syrup. 135 gallons evaporated, I think was the final tally. And thank you everyone for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Feel free to like, subscribe, thumbs up, whatever. And it's a beautiful day in central Minnesota.